Okay, YouTube. So a couple things why I like to use this kind of sticky, reusable uh, medical tape. The reason is again it's reusable. So unlike tape, if you take it off, this is I probably use too much for this, but if you take it off, it comes right back on. Um, so under here I have some forget what it's called, but some hemp rope, I guess, or there's an official name for it. I'll try to put it in the description. And all I did was I dipped it with some Vaseline, and then I melted some beeswax and dipped it in the beeswax. Put one of these underneath to not get too much wax on this. And then if you use it, you can go ahead and use it. And then if it gets hot and you get a bunch of wax, or the wax starts to melt a little bit, and you're using the sheath, so the wax doesn't get on all your stuff as it melts, I just kind of put this back on. Now again, that's probably all you need. I probably don't need this much. You just push it down and it sticks pretty well. I mean, that's about it. Again, I used a bunch for this. Um, and then I also use it for things that kind of maybe need to be flexible. So, so something like this. This is a Gerber Prodigy, the great knife. Now, the thing about the Prodigy is that this can be a little thin, and the grip's okay. I mean, the grip's not bad. This is a great knife out of the box. Great knife out of the box. Bushcraft, survival, camping. It's technically thin enough so that you can do slicing, dicing, camp chores. It doesn't have a great pommel, but you can technically use that, I guess, for tent stakes. I probably wouldn't suggest it. I just take an axe or a shovel. I do a lot of primitive camping, so you got to kind of shovel your own poop, so to speak. So I use the back of that. So this was actually starting to break at the seams. This is probably not the best quality sheath. This is one of the Bear Grylls sheath I got like at a garage sale. Somebody had lost an eye. I don't remember. I got it a long time ago. But the sheath is kind of cheap, and so it started to break right at the seams. Right in the middle is a seam. So what happened was when I put the knife in, it would just slide right out. So I just tied it with one of these, and it's flexible enough that lets the knife in, but makes it kind of good. The other reason why I like it is I like to tie the end of these leather. Uh, I just used a belt. One belt actually is good for a lot of things. I bought this belt at a thrift store for about $2. It's Italian leather. I bought an old used Italian leather belt, so it's good. It's good old leather. Tied it up here so it stays nice and firm. It doesn't go anywhere. At the end, it actually kind of gives good grip if you need to be chopping things like that. So that's really good. Here, a lot of people put paracord. I just do one thing, keep it simple. My other knife, I showed you how to make a sheath with no tools. This thing's basically just a kitchen knife protector. Now the kitchen knife protector goes about 8 inches, so it's a little longer. Um, and you can technically just use it like that, and it'll be fine. Put it in your pack. It holds it in pretty well. I did a little bit of modifications to it. I cut it with some scissors here. I took a file, like a nail clipper file, and kind of filed a little edge here, like a little notch to hold the rope. That way, when the rope comes off, this is again the same stuff, kind of holds the rope in, and then it locks it in like that. So that locks in, and that's not going anywhere. Um, and again, this is the same belt because it has a hole. Normally it's for a kitchen knife, so you just put the knife like this in. So I didn't want it to come out or to poke me. If you see there, it's just wrapped. Now I have here again the same fire starter that I have here. some rope. Same belt, made another handle. I really like these handles just because the handle that's underneath, it's okay. It's a little uneven if you've seen these. It has kind of like gaps in between the craton handle. So this just kind of makes it really smooth and make it feel like just a straight flat. And you know, you definitely need to oil it up. It doesn't turn because again, I tied it off with this. And this is once you can stretch this out a lot. And once you stretch it out a lot and tie it together, it holds this stuff really firm. As you can tell, it's kind of pushing the leather in. I mean, this is pretty surprisingly heavy duty stuff. It'll last a long time. I've never had one wear or break or snap or just not be. I've never had one become not useful. Now again, you can take some of this. I mean, you can get this for $1 at the dollar store. You can get a big one at Walmart for about $3. Take it for you on your trip. I take this and some gauze. So I take this and something like this, along with this instead of bandages. I'm not a big fan of Band-Aids, or instead of Band-Aids. Band-Aids, they kind of keep moisture in, don't let your finger dry. And I feel like when your fingers are dry or when the cut's nice and dry and lets air in and breathe, it heals a lot faster. When it's kind of soggy, you know, when you put Band-Aids, it's kind of soggy, doesn't let the sweat leave, and it becomes dark and wet, which is kind of the breeding ground for bacteria, things like that. Band-Aids come off easy. So this, a little bit of this, get rid of all your Band-Aids. You know, maybe some Neosporin or some alcohol. I take alcohol as part of my stove. So, you know, again, this works out pretty well. Bam. Not tactical or anything, definitely for camping. And same thing with this. I have this lanyard here that I made. And then if you push it through here, I'm going to make some notches for it, but it fits over this as just an extra step. Just keeps the knife very secure in there just in case. I'm just going to make a couple notches here to keep that in there. But yeah, super useful.